Can we get a name?
Kevin?
Kevin? Kevin, is that you setting off the EMF reader a little bit?
Yes.
That's why we pulled you out. I thought I saw like a weird light that way.
Okay.
So I do have the EMF reader. Oh, please don't go off.
It's wonderful.
Oh, God. It literally sounded like someone was walking towards us in the woods. I'm not joking around where I'm telling you I'm terrified.
By the fire's glow, where shadows play, two friends share tales as night turns gray. Welcome to Can You Scare Me? Under the moon's haze, where chilling stories set the night ablaze.
Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to Can You Scare Me? As you can see, out on location yet again. So we got a really interesting spot for this one. We're out here at what used to be an abandoned, well, we presume ski lodge. That's kind of what we saw on the information online. Some people said speakeasy, but looking at the hill that was like back behind us, does look like it used to be an old like ski club kind of thing. But interesting story about this trail that we did to get here. It's called the Devil's Hole Trail. The reason for that is because there actually used to be a lake up here that was said to be endlessly deep. People that would go swimming it would drown consistently, go missing. They were said to be sucked straight to hell.
Yes.
So,
Hence,
you know.
It was called the Devil's Hole.
Yeah. Now, there was a massive flood in the area back in 1955, which is also thought to be whenever the ski club here shut down, or speakeasy, whatever it was. But the flood swept through the area, and when the flood receded, the lake was actually gone.
Yeah. So when we here are out on a dark and stormy night.
But yeah, so we're gonna get into it here. We're gonna do a little bit of ghost hunting, but I'm Brandon, by the way.
I'm Kayla.
And we're here with a special guest this time.
This is my best friend, McKenna,
Yep.
all the way in from Jersey.
She decided to join us. Now, I know you said you got a little bit freaked out by ghosts and whatnot, so.
A little bit. I'm a little scared to be here, but I'm also really excited, and I hope we get something. Let's see.
I mean, we'll see. So honestly, I think we're gonna get straight into it here. Now, if you wanna look behind us here, if you can see this, we've got the REM pod again. REM pod's gonna have a couple lights on. Red light means nothing's happening. However, once it's turned on, if you wanna go ahead and get that going.
Yeah.
So there you go. Red light, normal stasis. It is like a motion detector that also senses temperature. And as you get close to the antenna, sets it off.
It also picks up the temperature difference, so blue is cold.
Yeah,
I hate when it goes off, though. I really do.
I don't
Even when
actually
I'm
know what
touching it.
all the temperatures are. Oh, that's too close to the wall.
Yeah.
There we
Okay,
go.
there we go.
And then this time we actually add a new kit to our arsenal, the EMF reader.
Yes, it went off rapidly at my... Why does it keep going off near me? Oh, wait.
It's electronics, mate.
You have my phone. I don't have it.
Your phone is over there, yeah. But
Yeah, so I don't have any electronics on me. I forgot my vape, too.
well, I don't know. That stuff.
This isn't
maybe.
on.
Yeah, true. But yeah, the EMF reader registers electromagnetic fields in the area. It's another thing that's said to be a sign of ghosts. We'll see. I mean, last time we didn't get much going on with the REM pod. Between the two of these, hopefully we get something. But on top of that, we're gonna run the Estes method again. Now, last time we were out, we got some like crazy results. Now, Estes method, for those of you that don't know, is we have what's called a spirit box here, which that is basically a fancy radio that cycles through radio stations super, super fast. So if you want to turn it on, I'll hold the mic up to it just so they can get that going.
Yeah. And then...
There it goes. So if you hear that, it's cycling through rapidly. And every so often you hear just a little tiny snippet of a song or a little tiny snippet of like a conversation on the radio. It's said that like while the person listening to the spirit box.
That's not going off at all.
No.
It wasn't even on. Now it's on, and it's still not going off.
Yeah.
Where's your evidence now?
We'll see. We'll see. We don't even know if there's any ghosts out here yet. But
I'm
basically,
fairly certain Bert followed me from last time.
I'm gonna sit down, put a blindfold on, put headphones on, listen to the spirit box, be completely zoned out just listening to it. I can't hear shit wherever I'm in there listening, so, but with that being the case, Kayla and McKenna are gonna be asking questions out loud, which are basically supposed to be questions for whatever ghost might be in the area. And from there, I'm just gonna say whatever words I hear on the spirit box. You know, if you saw our last video in Scotia Barrens, we got some pretty crazy answers.
Yeah. Hoping to get some more again, although again, I'm fairly certain Bert may have attached himself to me because I didn't say goodbye last time.
Yeah.
So if
yeah.
we start getting similar responses, we're going back to the Scotias so I can drop him off.
Fingers crossed, Bert, let's go again.
No, Bert.
Like to talk to you more.
All right, let's get you
So just
geared
going
up.
straight into it. Okay, we do have a second camera set up this time for another angle, just because I know last video, you couldn't really tell that I had the headphones and the blindfold on. I mean, I attest to it, but you know, this time we want to make it clear that like, nah, I'm really fully covered up and can't hear a single word that they're saying, just to, you know, show that we're trying to be legit with it. I don't know how legit the SS method is, but last time it was pretty spooky.
Oh boy.
So we'll cut it out right here and we'll be right back wherever we get going.
All right. 26, we'll pull them. We'll start. All right. You under? Yeah. Okay. I think we should, try and aim towards questions of like, is there anybody that wants to talk to us? Like,
Okay.
is there anybody here with us? Anybody that can give us any information on like what this used to be? We should kind of gear it that way, but if it starts like throwing out random words, we should try and steer into those a little bit.
Okay.
Try and gear questions off of what we
So I'll
get.
let you start, and then like
Yeah.
I could just kind of piggyback off of what you're doing.
Yeah. I would like an explanation though as to why this keeps going off around.
I have my phone on me.
Yeah, but
So where do you want me to see?
like, look, it's not. That's not setting it off. This does because it's the microphone. Here, I don't know.
We've got 2 more minutes.
2 more. Okay. Oh fuck.
Where do you want me to stand as well?
I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna move this to over here so you can kind of see it. All right, guys, we're about to start. We're gonna tap him, let him know we're about ready to start asking some questions. So let's see what we can find out. All right, before I tap him though, I would like to invite any spirits in the area that want to come and talk to us. We have some questions about the general area, what it used to be. So hoping we can get some answers here, and we're about to start. So let's see what we got. Also, these questions are, again, completely random. We didn't know who was going to go under, so we're just kind of winging it right now. Oh my God. All right. Is there anybody here that would like to speak to us? Any spirits in the area want to let us know that you're here? You can either
Yup.
come up. Did you say yep? Is that what you just said? Oh, hell no. God, not again.
What is
Oh.
your name?
Ghost interrupted me mid-sentence. Here, we're gonna share the mic so you can be heard too. But, all right, if there's any spirits that want to let us know that you're here, please give us a very apparent sign. Either make a noise or set off one of these here devices. Again, you can just go up and touch one of the lights. Let us know that you're here. It'd be greatly appreciated. Or you can let us know through Brandon. Is there anybody that has information on what this used to be, what this area used to be, or the Devil's Hole? Anybody that perished in the Devil's Hole? That flashlight's really throwing my eyes
know.
off too. Can you give us your name of anybody that's here with us right now? Can we get a name?
Kevin?
Kevin? All right, Kevin. Did you perish in the Devil's Hole? Kevin, can you set off one of these devices behind McKenna? Either one of them, you could just walk up and... Here, do you want to scooch slightly
you some
this way?
space?
Yeah. We don't want to make you feel like you're crowded. You can please feel free to go up and touch one of these devices. Preferably the REM pod. I would love to see that go off.
I'm not ready.
You're not ready to show us that you're here? All right. Kevin, can you tell me, were you here? Did you see the Devil's Hole? Did you see the bottomless lake? Kevin, is it safe for us to be here? I'm gonna have to rewatch that, but I thought I saw that move.
Help me.
Help you?
Okay, I'm done. I can't.
It's okay.
I
It's
can't.
okay.
I'm sorry.
What do you need? What do you need help from? What do you need help with, Kevin? Oh shit.
Don't.
Kevin, is that you setting off the EMF reader a little bit?
Yes.
That was you? Thank you for showing us that you're here. I appreciate that.
Are we safe?
Are we safe to be here, Kevin? So, like, we're very consistent, too. Every question's getting answered.
I need to go soon. This
Yeah.
is it.
We'll wrap it up soon.
Okay.
Kevin, can you give us one more sign that you're here? Can you set off that REM pod for me? Kevin, can you tell me what you needed help from? What did you need help with? You still here, Kevin? Oh, it's a bit under. Okay. We'll give him another couple minutes. He said 15 minutes. He's been under for getting close to 10. Kevin, now's your time to talk to us. we're gonna have to pull him out here before long. So anything you want to say to us, now's the time. Kevin, is this your home? Is this where you hang out? Is this where your spirit stays? Are you trapped here? Kevin, did you leave us?
Running?
Oh, God.
He's gone. I can't.
You're running, or we should be? I swear to God, if he says you should, I will fucking take off. I will grab him, throw him over the shoulder, and run. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. Let's go.
Oh, yo.
No, you're
Oh. Yeah. I could tell here, though, there's not that many radio stations because it was way more spread out with white noise.
Yeah, you know what's scary about that? Every question was answered. And like
Really?
legitimately responded.
Well, the name that came through
Dude, I
was
asked
like
for a
Kevin.
name and it was like Kevin. Because I was like, is there anybody here that wants to talk to us? And immediately you went, yep. And I was like, oh. And then you just were
Well,
like,
that's
help
pretty
me.
sick.
And I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, there was nothing else related to that, which I was like waiting for,
Yeah.
but like didn't hear anything of that. I was curious if anything else was gonna come through with the running then, because I was like, running, what?
Yeah. I did see, well, that's why we pulled you out. I thought I saw like a weird light that way.
Okay.
So I think we should.
I do want to say some shit though.
What?
Last time I did this, I closed my eyes in the blindfold. This time I left them open. I was seeing shit.
You were seeing
I
shit?
was seeing shit.
What were you seeing?
Like, I legitimately saw, like, there was, like, this, like, pink light off, like, here that kind of came into the center. Super, super dim, though. But then it kind of, like, it pulsed a little bit, and it started to look like a face. And then
Dude,
it, like,
I think
went
you
away.
Saw Kevin.
Maybe.
Because, dude, at one point, that started going off, and I was like, Kevin, did you touch that and set it off? And you
Was that the
like,
yep?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was one of them.
Or the
there was
yes
another
or
one.
whatever.
Yeah, it was like, yes. And then I asked if he was like, if he would like show us like a sign that he was here, and he goes, "I'm not ready yet."
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. So
Oh.
I think we should wrap it this location here.
Yeah, I mean, I am soaked out here. I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, but it is pouring down
Yeah,
rain.
we are so
Actually drenched. And we got like another mile to hike back in the dark.
Yes.
But I mean, we have planned to go and hit up another spot tonight. So we'll see you guys there. Coming up next is a brief retelling of the Wiggins Patch Massacre. Trigger warning for assault and harm to a child and a pregnant woman. Skip ahead by about 6 minutes if you want to avoid this part. On a cold December morning in 1875, a woman by the name of Elle McAllister was woken by the sounds of heavy footsteps coming across the lawn, followed quickly by the door of their boarding house being kicked in. This night would become one of the worst events in a series of tragedies that plagued the area. In order to try and comprehend the events of that night, we need to first take you back to 1873, when mine owners used the Great Panic Depression to stop unionization attempts and cut miners' wages by up to 20%. After several failed attempts at peaceful negotiations, miners began to put their faith in the Molly Maguires, an Irish union mob originated in Ireland in the 1840s. Assaults, intimidation, and murder were just some of the methods used by the Mollies to settle worker grievances they felt would not be resolved by the corrupt political justice system. One example of intimidation came in the form of a coffin layer to a mine foreman known for discriminating against his Irish workers, threatening death if the situation wasn't rectified. The foreman, named Thomas Sanger, would ignore this warning out of ignorance. In 1 year's time, Sanger and his friend Urin were walking along a busy street to work when they were gunned down by 2 alleged Mollies. This murder left mine owners outraged, so much so that they hired the Pinkerton Detective Agency to infiltrate the Molly Maguires. In the meantime, the mine owners used their control of the local news to stir outrage in the public and call for vigilante justice. The Pinkertons would send in an agent named James McParland, who would go undercover and embed himself into their ranks. McParland spent his time compiling evidence against the organization, which he then turned over to his bosses. The Pinkertons then released a list of names and addresses of known members of the Molly Maguires in the same corrupt newspaper. James and Charles O'Donnell and James and Charles McAllister were reported to have potential involvement in the murder of Sanger. It should be noted that these claims were speculative at best, but the papers called for vengeance, stating, "It's time we take the law into our own hands." Those 4 men were known to all live at Margaret O'Donnell's boarding house in Wiggins Patch. This takes us back to the morning of December 10th, 1875. Across town from the boarding house, unbeknownst to the residents, a lynch mob of around 20 men was forming to enact their own version of justice. These men would don masks and arm themselves with guns they had on hand, along with bundles of rope. Upon setting out, these men soon realized in the dark they had lost their sense of direction, leading to them knocking on several doors before receiving directions from a neighbor. Inside the boarding house, a heavily pregnant Ellen McAllister was fast asleep next to her husband Charles McAllister and their young son. In the other rooms also lay Margaret O'Donnell, the owner of the boarding house and mother of Ellen, Charles O'Donnell, brother of Ellen, and James McAllister, brother-in-law to Ellen. Awoken by what she had assumed was excitement about giving birth that day, Ellen quickly realized it was due to the sound of many footsteps outside. Panicked, she began to shake her husband awake, as the sound of the front door being kicked in reverberated through the house. The mob rushed inside, scouring the house, intent on finding their targets. The first to be found was Charles O'Donnell, who was drugged from his bed and riddled with 18 bullets before being lit on fire outside. The next to be found was James McAllister, who was dragged out to the garden and had a noose tied around his neck. He was hung from the tree where he decided to play dead. After being abandoned, he was able to wiggle free and run for help. While this occurred, upstairs, Ellen, Charles, and their young son had barricaded themselves in their room. Assuming everyone was dead, Charles McAllister escaped out of the window to get help, believing that they would not harm his pregnant wife or young son. Margaret O'Donnell had not escaped their rage. Being caught by the assailants and repeatedly pistol-whipped, Ellen, frightened for her young son and unable to bear the screams of her mother any longer, left the room to plead for this to end. Atop the stairs, she saw several masked faces turn to look at her before one raised their pistol and fired into her stomach. A hail of bullets soon followed while the men shouted, "Stop! We don't shoot women!" By this point, it was too late, and Ellen laid there dead. The group disbanded, going their separate ways and leaving a badly hurt Margaret alone with Ellen's young son. Ellen and her brother Charles were laid to rest in St. Jerome's Cemetery. Charles McAllister, who had escaped the massacre, was charged with the murder of Sanger and Urin, but was later released due to a lack of evidence. James O'Donnell and James McAllister fled the area, never to return. Margaret O'Donnell, after recovering from her injuries, identified the local butcher, Frank Weinrich, as one of the masked assailants. The man was brought in and held from questioning before being released with no charges. He was the head of the Silliman Guards, a local militia that was owned by the mine owners. The suspected head of the Molly Maguires was a local Irish innkeeper named Jack Kehoe, also known as Blackjack. He was married to Mary Ann, which was one of Margaret's other daughters. The massacre at the boarding house was the mine owners' ploy to lure Blackjack Kehoe into retaliation so they would finally have enough evidence to eradicate the Mollies. Kehoe understood this plan and did not retaliate, causing mine owners to send their men to arrest Blackjack and 19 other men even though there was a lack of evidence. All 20 men were sentenced to death, 3 without ever receiving a trial. The massacre and hanging of 20 men was the direct result of corporate greed and discrimination. In 1979, the Pennsylvania governor granted Kehoe a posthumous pardon over 100 years after he was put to death. A plaque was also hung acknowledging the wrongful deaths of these men and the great miscarriage of justice.
Welcome back to location 2 and Can You Scare Me?
And if you haven't noticed, we're filming on the same night, but we are missing our guest. Now, we did talk to her. We had to drop her back off because when we showed up at this location, she was just getting a really bad energy, and she is a little bit more attuned to the spiritual side than I am, at least. I don't know if
Me.
Yeah.
Nope, she beats me.
She full on just got a really bad energy from this place. And
Yeah,
if you,
she just told us she definitely wasn't going to be able to do this.
So we dropped her back off. We talked about doing an interview with her to talk about like what she was feeling in those moments. So maybe we'll get that. Maybe we'll cut it in if that's the case. We'll see. If we do, you'll have seen it by now. But on top of that, this location that we're at now, you'll have already seen the history that we covered of this location in the video. Now, we are right where basically the Wiggins Patch Massacre occurred back in 1875. A full-on family in the boarding house was massacred by a group of 20 men, and then 20 different men, completely unrelated, put to death basically just for being Irish and Roman Catholic in the area. It is a messed up story, but we're here to see if we can't maybe make contact with somebody that was involved.
Yep. So we brought out the spirit box again. We did forget the blindfold in the car, so you're just gonna have to pull your shirt up.
Yeah, shirt up, eyes closed.
Yeah.
Combination of the two.
It's cold and raining, and we just want to be done now.
It is actually freezing out here. I mean,
and you might notice I'm in different clothes than I was because I fell in the water.
Yeah, on the way back, there were a couple stream crossings to get to that first spot that we were at. And both McKenna and Kayla actually went down in the water.
Yeah, but I actually fully went in.
Yeah,
she caught herself. I went straight in.
Yeah.
Also soaked a lot of our equipment, so
Yep.
hopefully, I mean, this thankfully didn't get bothered, but
Yeah.
I think the rim pod got a little bit bothered. So
Yeah, we'll see what the deal is with that in the future. But
Yep.
with that being the case, back to the tried and true Estes method. We've gotten some good results already. We'll see if we can't get some more. We actually brought out some camping chairs this time too, because it's coming down right now, and we wanted to stay somewhat dry.
yeah,
But with that being the case,
I'm just gonna send him right into it.
Yep.
So we can get this started.
we want to get moving here on it, just because it is cold and wet.
Yes. I can't. Oh God, my eyes. Yeah, there we go. There you
All
go.
right. Like we said, we don't have the blindfold this time, so I will just be closing my eyes, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, my seat's wet. I just got dry pants on.
I guess give me a couple minutes. Tap me when you're ready.
Yep. Oh, I hate being out here alone. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Anybody that wishes to talk to us, oh, wait. I do have the EMF reader. Oh, please don't go off. That shouldn't be going. Okay. Okay, well, we'll just keep it here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and tap him, let him know we're gonna get started. Anybody that wants to communicate with us, that wants to talk about the Wiggins Patch Massacre, please feel free to do so now. Is there anybody here that wishes to communicate with us? Please either light up this thing in my hand or say something through Brandon. Okay, I see it going up a bit. Do you want to say something through Brandon? Can you tell me your name? See it going up a little bit. Can I get... Oh, God. Oh, my own hair. It's okay. Oh, God, I don't like this. Can I, Is there anybody here that wants to communicate? Oh,
8.
8 of you? There's 8 of you that want to communicate?
It's wonderful.
Oh, God. The afterlife? Is that what's wonderful?
I've been.
You've been to the afterlife? Why'd you come back?
Evil.
Okay, seriously. I'm like not even fucking with you. I hear footsteps.
All right. Where's your flashlight at?
Dude, this thing's been fucking lighting up like crazy.
Ooh.
It literally sounded like someone was walking towards us in the woods. Like, not even joking.
I was getting a really...
I really don't feel good here. I really think we should have listened to McKenna.
Oh,
I don't
man.
feel good about this. I don't like these woods.
Yeah.
I'm getting bad vibes. Dude, has this been going off in my hand as I've been talking this whole time,
I don't
too?
know. I wasn't looking at it.
I think I saw it light up orange, and that's why
So here's the thing. I'm not that cold right now.
I
was
saw you visibly shaking. I thought you were just cold.
I was, but I literally was like...
You were like convulsing a little bit.
I have this like breathing exercise I do when I'm super cold, and I was doing it. I couldn't fucking stop shaking.
I don't feel
But
good
now
here.
as soon
I'm
as I
also
stood
like
up-
violently shaking, dude. I've like
Now
I
that I
jumped
stood
at
up,
one
I'm
point.
good.
I don't feel good about this place. I really don't. I think we should go back.
Okay.
I really don't like this. I really don't feel good here.
I mean, fuck, yeah, no. I mean,
I pulled this out and I regretted it so fast.
Did it start going off?
Yeah, like almost immediately. And it was like, dude, it was bumping up to orange, and like at one point it almost went red. I was like, I don't like this at
and
all.
I literally just
Dude, when
heard
you said
evil.
8 and then you were like, it's wonderful, and I was like, I don't like that. I really don't like that. I really, really don't like that.
Well, guys,
we're gonna wrap this
I hate
short.
to like do this, but
I'm not joking around where I'm telling you I'm terrified.
I was getting I was getting really fucking weird there. Like,
I really don't like that.
actually, like, I could not stop shaking.
No, I don't like this. I don't like this place at all. We need to get out of here.
All right. Yeah. I mean, sorry to make that so short, guys. We're gonna dip.
Yeah, I'm terrified.
yeah.
I can't do this.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Hopefully next time,
Yeah.
maybe see
Yeah.
how it goes.
Yeah.
No, I'm not kidding though.
I'm
When I was
seriously terrified.
like, I'm not cold right now. But I was fucking
cold, but I'm also shaking from something else.
I was shaking from.
Dude, I'm like shaking out of literal terrifying. Like, I'm fucking scared.
Well, like I said, with that, I was feeling really fucking weird.
Like,
under
it's not
that
just
time.
like, it's not just
I've
like,
never, all the other times we've done it, I felt fucking weird that time. Like, I had my eyes closed, but I was like seeing shit like flashing. I don't know.
No, dude, I really don't like
I saw
it
this
here.
fucking purple light, and it just, it was like fucking electricity. Like, that was strange.
I think just from looking at the flashlight, like, was fucking with my eyes. But, like, I was, like, seeing, like, weird, like, lights. And, like, I was starting to see faces in them myself. And I was, like, really starting to freak
All
out.
right. Yeah.
I want to get out of here.
Yeah, we're out of here, guys.
Goodbye.
We'll catch you next
so
time.
sorry. Like and subscribe.
All right, guys. So we're back. As you can see, now in a warm and dry environment. Sorry for cutting that so short, but so what we wanted to do here was kind of talk about that a little bit, just because I you know, it doesn't portray accurately our feelings like on camera.
No.
But there was some shit going on that we're like, all right, this isn't a good spot. And actually, I thought we'd start off with McKenna because before we even actually went out there to record, I mentioned it a little bit in the shot that we had out there that, I mean, you know, we showed up and you had a bad feeling and we ended up dropping you back off before going back out. So I don't know if you want to like talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, no. We were driving past your house, and once it became like we were on our way there,
Yeah.
this feeling of this just dread and like horror came over me. And that's happened to me in the past when I've dealt with things like this, but this was just so much that I went into like a full-blown, almost like a panic attack.
And I would just like to say I did notice a change in her very immediately. She went so silent. Just absolute silent in the back. And I like glanced into the mirror and I like saw her face and I knew she was not doing it. I knew it was not going to happen. I've never seen her look like that.
And I didn't want to like scare anybody or like kind of like come off as being like too sensitive, but I couldn't even help myself from like visibly crying.
Yeah.
Like because of the discomfort that I felt. And when you pulled the car over at the spot that they originally went to, I lost it. That's when I was like, I gotta go back. I can't do this. Like something is not right here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I missed out on that, which I'm kind of personally a little relieved.
Yeah.
Because that was exactly what I felt.
Yeah. No, I don't feel good about it. I can tell you that. I really don't. But I would also like to take it back to Devil's Hole real quick. You'll see that it points like I'm looking off a lot, and she just would not look at all. But I kept glancing over just because, like, I had this overwhelming feeling like we were being watched from, like, several different directions.
Yeah.
And I also heard a dog tag or something, some sort of, like, chime. Like,
Well,
like
actually, take it back before that. So, like, when we were on location at Devil's Hole doing the Estes method, I mean, you spotted something that you didn't call out. So if you want to call that out first. And then...
So during that, at one point, McKenna had like whispered to me that she like wanted to tap out, and like she didn't think we should be there anymore. And like as she was saying that, I saw something like off to the right there, and I like looked over because it caught my eye, and it was just like a little bit of light, like a really really dull flashlight that was just kind of like glinting through the trees real quick, but it was like darting pretty fast, and it just shot through, like heading like our direction a little bit. So I got a little bit weirded out because I thought maybe somebody else was out there. That didn't seem very likely, you know? I thought it was just somebody out there with like a very, very basically dead flashlight, you know?
Well,
that's like
we were a mile and a half into the woods to get to this spot too. It was a mile and a half out, mile and a half back.
Yeah.
And on the walk out, like, you know, it's a public trail. It's a public access area on state game land. But like when we got there, there's no other cars parked in the public spot for that trail. We were the only car parked there. When we got back, we were the only car there.
Yeah. And there is not anything really around there at all, other than there's like a waterfall somewhere nearby.
Yeah.
But you are like just deep into the woods there.
It really did feel though as if like there was somebody watching us, and that's why like I couldn't bring myself to look up.
Yeah, like I knew she was scared. I didn't know why she was doing that until like afterwards when we were driving back here to go to the second location. I'd said something about where like I know she feels more sensitively to the spiritual than I do, but I was like, did you also feel like we were being watched like very heavily? And she did. She 100% did. And I knew she felt something by the way she was acting.
And then on the way back,
Just let her go. She's gonna keep coming.
on the way, like us hiking back, it felt like you were saying somebody was following us. That's kind of what it felt like for me too.
Well,
It
because
like felt like somebody was like on our trail, like right behind us.
at a certain point, like they had kind of gotten up ahead of me and I was kind of lagging behind, and it was kind of like a mixture of like dirt and rocks where the path we were on, and I very clearly heard like footsteps coming like behind us, like somebody was like barreling up the path towards us, and I kept like whipping back with the flashlight and nothing there, but like I didn't want to say anything and freak her out more than she already was.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah. But I brought it up as soon as we got to the car because I was like, jogged to catch up. I was like, please don't leave me.
Well, and on top of the footsteps, though, you also talked about hearing like the jingling and the.
Yeah, I kept hearing like a dog tag or something jingling, but there's nobody else out there. So I have no, and like it kept coming from like different directions, but it would like, it sounded like at first it was like slightly further out, and then it would like get like slightly closer. And like at one point it sounded like seriously close. And I actually mentioned it to you guys as we were walking back, and I was like, did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
So then when we actually did get back to the second location, then, you know, we had dropped McKenna off, showed back up. And now, like, it is cold and raining outside, but it's not, like, freezing out.
No.
So we get down there, you know, we set up, and, like, it was still, like... So the thing I will say is, like, as we went, it felt like it got so much colder. Like, throughout that, like, very short, not even 10 full minutes of sitting in those chairs recording. And it literally... So, like, whenever we did, you know, walk back up to the road, we were only like 20 feet away from like where we had parked, and it felt like the temperature raised like 15 degrees in that 20-foot walk.
By the time we reached the car, neither of us were shaking anymore.
Yeah. And that's where, so getting into it then, when we were sitting down there actually like doing the Estes method, I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera, but I started out fine. And yeah, you know, it's cold out. Like, as sitting still for longer, you're going to get colder. But I literally, like, it went from just, like, you know, a little bit of, like, you know, like, a little bit of a shiver to, like, full-on, like, shaking. For me, at least, being, like, under in the Estes method, like, doing that. And not only that, but, like, when that started going on, I started to, like, I mean, I mentioned it briefly. She's all right. Come here, Riley. But literally, we forgot the blindfold, and now, you know, doing the Estes method at Scotia, I had the blindfold on, but I had my eyes closed underneath the blindfold. I didn't see shit. When we were at the Devil's Hole like spot, I kept my eyes open in the blindfold, and I was like seeing some stuff like after being in there for a while. But you know, the sensory deprivation, that's like a normal thing usually. But at this location, just laying there with my eyes closed, I immediately started like seeing shit. Where with my eyes closed, I literally like within like a couple of minutes, like I don't know how long you actually let me sit before you started asking questions, but
I think my freaking out, I think it did end up spanning into the whole 5 minutes, but before that I was just going to call it at 4.
So, you know, 5 minutes of sitting there, I was fine. Like, you know, I wasn't super cold, like I wasn't shivering, like I wasn't seeing anything. And, you know, just listening to it cycling through the radio stations. But then we get into it and start asking questions, and like immediately I'm picking up on a lot of words coming through. Like, we were getting responses much faster than we have at like any other point when we've done this. And not only that, but almost immediately as you started asking questions, which is when you also like invited whoever wanted to talk to us.
Right.
With my eyes closed, I saw this like purple ball of like energy, light, whatever, just kind of like up in the top right of where my vision would be if my eyes were open. And that like transitioned over into the center. And then there was like this purple electricity crackling out from that like ball in the center of my vision. And then as it went on, I also started to see like these like black silhouettes with the purple illumination like behind them. Like it
How
was
many?
3 or 4. It was like
Well, four's
was
still
4.
bad. Four's
yeah.
Four shadow people's a bad omen.
It was
That's a
like-
bad omen.
Yeah. It was like 2 and 2 with the ball in the middle. And it was fully like silhouette. Like I didn't see faces or anything, but it looked like silhouettes of people in my vision with this like purple crackling like energy behind them. It was very strange. And on top of that, it felt bad. Like I don't know what it was about it, but I legitimately like it just, you know.
You'll see on the video that at no point do we discuss that bad feeling till after I tap him out.
Yeah.
But I also felt that very bad energy immediately.
Yeah. And then on top of that, like literally like with you asking the questions, I mean, you missed it because we did go back and like look through the footage real quick.
Yeah.
But like the last thing literally was evil. And then like you're like I hear like footsteps. I was seeing like this energy getting brighter in my like vision with my eyes closed, and then it comes up with like evil, and it's like, all right, let's get the fuck out of there.
I'm not joking when I'm telling you I heard very clear footsteps coming towards us. I was so freaked out, and watching the EMF reader ticking up a little bit. It's hard to see a little bit in the video, but it went up to like the yellow, and I hated it. As soon as I pulled that out, I immediately regretted it. Didn't want to see that. Didn't like that it was going off. We were in the middle of the woods. There was no reason for that to go off. I had even, in the earlier video, you see me hold the EMF reader against the spirit box while it's running, and it did not pick it up. Mm-hmm. It never set it off. So it wasn't me holding it near him, listening to that set it off. No idea why it was going off in between us. And then I, like, audibly heard footsteps, and I was so scared that I completely forgot I even had my own flashlight.
Yeah.
And I just immediately was like, we need to go. We need to go. Like, and also one of the words that came through immediately after it said like 8, and then it was like,
it's wonderful.
It's wonderful without being prompted or anything. Something about that, the way, like, just the it's wonderful, I didn't feel good about that. Immediately I was like, this is bad. This is something very, very bad.
Well, and that's where, you know, after doing the Estes method a couple times where, like, I'm the one laying down with the blindfold and the headphones on, like, I usually feel pretty calm. Like, it's almost relaxing sitting there listening to, like, the white noise and, like, then catching the words. It's whatever. Like I said, it's almost, like, relaxing. This time, that was not the case. I was, like, literally got this, like, shaking going, like, I like, couldn't stop it. Like, literally, like... And it wasn't even like a shivering. Like it was shivering, but it was like a full on, my arms and my legs like full on like convulsing kind of with the shiver. It was, you know, only time I've ever gotten that before was like literally, I've done polar plunges in the past, and like getting out before you like get the towel on, like get by the fire and get warm. I've gotten that for like a second, but that was the same feeling there with it being like,
I was getting a very similar feeling, like all the muscles in my body felt so tense.
yeah.
And I felt so freaked out. Just I freak out pretty easy, I'll give you that. But this was unlike anything I've ever felt. Like, this was a whole new level of fear, of absolute panic. Because I was like, I've never felt a vibe like that, where I have just been that freaked out that I was like, I can't be here anymore. I can't.
Yeah, and then literally, you know, we took off pretty quick, but literally just walking right back up to the car, I think I already said it once, but I'll say it again. It felt like the temperature immediately raised like 15 degrees.
Yeah.
Like immediately. Like just immediately felt so much warmer. And we walked like 20 feet. Like, you know, it wasn't that far from where we had parked. And that just immediate like temperature change, it was wild. But yeah, I mean,
I have no desire to ever set foot in those woods again.
I knew I had like a feeling. It's heavy. It's a heavy feeling to have.
yeah. And it was literally like, Well, like I said, usually doing the Estes method, it's almost like relaxing because you're just listening to this white noise, laying there like chilling. But nah, this time it was just like I felt like nauseous, like actually like sick, like the whole.
Do you remember I said that too? I was like, I almost felt as if I was gonna like physically vomit.
Yeah.
When we got there,
She did.
right before you guys left, I said that.
Yeah, I that was when I deemed that like we should come back here before going back out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I have no desire to set foot in those woods again.
I mean,
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna say it. I kind of want to try it again when
I'll
it's
kill
actually
you.
like no, but like when it's
I'll kill
actually
you in
like
those
hot
woods.
out, like in the middle of summer on a day where it's like
I
90
know.
degrees.
I've
like,
had the same thought,
you
but
know what
I
I
also
mean?
really don't want to go back there.
It was an experience. Not a good one, but an
No.
experience.
Yeah, like not gonna lie, I legitimately almost cried on the way back home. I was so fucking scared.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't want to like push you into doing it. But if like in the middle of summer when it's like 90
if you
degrees
give me a couple
outside,
months to forget about this fear,
well, because
I'll
I'd
be fine.
really I'm just curious how much of that was like the cold versus like, because if it's like 90 degrees out and it drops 15 degrees, it's gonna be a noticeable change, but like not cause like violent shivering like that.
No,
So
absolutely not.
you know, it is. We'll see, maybe, but
That was
I'm
terrifying.
glad you guys are back.
Yeah.
it was something. But hey, with that, you know, thanks for listening to our spiel here. Like I said, sorry we couldn't get more out there, but it was just it was off,
Yeah.
to say the least.
The vibe wasn't it.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
And I don't know, like I said, it's tough to portray that feeling through
Yeah.
like a video medium like this. So that's why we're doing this like sit down to kind of talk about. Like this is immediately after. I mean, we were out there 20, 30 minutes ago. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
You can believe us or not. It's just pretty much all for us anyway, just
Yeah.
trying to prove things to ourselves. And I am a strong believer now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something. But hey, I mean, if you're still here at this point, thanks for sticking around. You
Like
know,
and subscribe. It helps us out immensely.
honestly, straight up, leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think if hearing this. Like, if you get to this point, I'd be really curious to know other people's thoughts on
Yes,
like this
please.
actual situation. But you know, with that, I guess from us here, can you scare me? Sweet nightmares.